whatever I'm doing as an act of worship. And no matter what you do, you may sweep the streets. It's more than just a job. You're doing it as if you're working for the Lord, no matter what you do. Every act of work can be an act of worship. Now, some of you, your heart isn't in your work. You're not doing it with enthusiasm. You can barely get along. Then you're in the wrong job. Because life is too short to spend it doing work your heart isn't in. There's a lot more. In fact, it's a sin. The Bible says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. If you can't do what you do with all your heart, you need to change jobs. Because it needs to be an act of worship. Now, what kind of work does God bless? He blesses all kinds of work as long as it's done 5 ways. You might write these down. It's these next 5 verses. First, God blesses planning. Proverbs 21:5. Good planning and hard work leads to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to what? Poverty. God blesses planning. That's the first thing He does. God blesses planning. He wants you to plan your work, and He wants you to work your plan. Number 2, God blesses initiative. He not only wants you to plan your work, He wants you to take the initiative. God never blesses laziness. The Bible says in Proverbs 10:4, lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands will bring what? Wealth. Now, what is He saying? He's saying, stop waiting for your ship to come in. Swim out to it. You got to take the initiative. Don't stop waiting for something to happen. You take the initiative. He says you need to make a plan, and then you need to take the initiative. That's what God blesses in wealth creation. Number 3, God blesses integrity. God blesses integrity. If you want God to bless your finances, you must be honest. That means you pay your taxes and you don't cheat people. God never blesses dishonest gain in any way. Proverbs 16:11, the Lord demands fairness in every business deal. So He's not going to bless it if it's unfair. He sets the standard. God says, I want you to plan your work. I want you to take the initiative. I want you to have integrity and do it with honesty. Number 4, God blesses focus. He says you need to stay focused. Don't just keep moving around from project to project, jumping around from job to job, from idea to idea, from opportunity to opportunity. Get an idea and stick with it. Stay focused. You don't get distracted by pipe dreams, everything that comes along. Proverbs 12:11, hard work brings prosperity. Only fools waste time chasing fantasies. And then number 5, God blesses persistence. In other words, when you get a job, you keep at it. You don't give up the first time you have a failure. You don't give up the first time the stock goes down. You don't give up the first time somebody looks at you crossways and criticizes you for what you're doing. You are persistent. The Bible says wealth from get rich quick schemes quickly disappears, but wealth from hard work grows. You ever heard the phrase easy come, easy go? Well, that's where it comes from. It comes from this verse. It's from the Bible. Money that is made quickly and easily is gone quickly and easily. Okay, number 3, third habit you're going to have to develop. Keep good records. If you want God's financial blessing on your life in the next 10 years, like I want it to be for you, if you want to get out of debt, you want to be financially free, you're going to have to keep good records. This is a principle of accounting. That means you write it down. You got to keep track of your finances. You say, oh, Rick, I hate to do that. Yeah, well, you say, I don't have time to do it. Do you have time to worry? If you wrote everything down, you'd have a whole lot less to worry about. Now notice this verse, Proverbs 27:23 and 24. Riches can disappear fast. Everybody agree with that part? Yeah, okay. Riches can disappear fast, so watch your business interests closely. Know the state of your flocks and herds. Now, why do you say flocks and herds? Because when the Bible was written, this passage here, all wealth was tied up in your livestock. You could easily tell who was rich in Bible days. If you had a lot of cows, a lot of sheep, or a lot of goats, you were wealthy. If you had no animals, you were poor. There were no banks. There were no stocks. There were no businesses per se. Everybody's wealth was tied up in the animals that they had. So he says, when he says know your flocks, he's saying watch your business interest. Today, instead of saying know your flocks, God would say know your stocks. In other words, you need to know where they're going. Now he says riches can disappear fast. People say money talks. It does not. It just walks away quietly. And you end up with more of the month left over at the end of the money. You go, where is all this going? Anytime you say, well, I just don't know where it goes, it means you're already in trouble. Because easy credit plus ignorance equals disaster. You must keep good records. You got to write it down. And you got to know what you owe. You got to know what you earn. You got to know what you own. And you got to know where it's going. And if you don't, as I said, easy credit plus being in the dark equals disaster. It's a warning. If you don't know where it's going, you are already headed in deep trouble. You got to keep good records. 1 Corinthians 16:2. On the first day of every week, that's Sunday, when you go to worship, put aside some of what you have earned during the week and use it for the offering. Now, the amount depends on how much the Lord has helped you to earn. It's in a proportional giving. Now, this verse is primarily about planning your tithing, but that's not why I put it in there. I put it in there because I want you to circle the phrase, put aside. Put aside. You can't set aside some for the offering, or you can't set aside some for savings, or you can't set aside some for vacation unless you're keeping good records. You can't put aside anything if you don't know what you've got and where it's going. You must keep good records.